Hello there, how are you? Welcome back. Well, last week we left off with me having the shower surround waterproof. This week it is all about tile. Hanging the tile or adhering the tile, not grouting the tile. This video ran into the 12-minute marker, which is double my normal length, so I opted to do the grouting in next week's video. It'll be a real short, brief, how to grout type thing. With that being said, the first day, it was straight up all about getting my layout. I tried not to rush, take my time, set myself up my horizontal lines, my vertical lines. That way I can make sure that I kept it level and plumb. I put these little batter boards up here because the first row I'm cutting part of the bottom off because the shower pan, the level of it, there's a difference. But I wanted all the other tiles going up the wall even. So I'm going to cut the first row off later on and adhere it. So starting off, my initial row will be the second row, and then I will work my way up. But by doing this with these starter strips, oh my goodness, it just makes that first row adhered so easy. Everything is nice and level. You can get your lines and then you're just buzzing right along. I don't want to say going fast because, like I said, this was a 4-day deal to get the tile on and get it grouted. So with that in mind, here we are on day 2. Again, this is the tile saw that I used. All of my cuts were straight cuts, so I did not come out here and film every time I made a straight cut. Just know that when I made that cut, I made sure I left my 1/8 inch gap, or actually a 1/16 inch gap, because I'm using leveling shims, so they'll keep my gap running consistent. And it will level everything out so your surface stays fairly smooth. There were a couple of hiccups, but for the most part, goodness gracious, these things work absolutely fantastic. So now these are considered large format tiles, so you want to make sure you put your tile adhesive or your mastics on the wall, but you also want to make sure you back butter the tile so you get a up to 85% coverage, I think is what they said. So you put it on, you pull it off, make sure everything's covered, your surface, wall surface and your tile surface, then you know the direction that you're going is spot on. Once I got this first row, it was just a matter of taking my time, using these gray spacers with the white leveling cap that's on there, and there was a tool. It was a whole kit that was sold to me by Floor and Decor. Now these things are nice, and the folks at Floor and Decor are just awesome as far as helping you out. But this particular brand, and I'm not going to give you the name, just know that I had more of those white caps that did not want to go onto the spacer than I care to even mention. So about, I don't know, a third of the way, not even halfway, I opted to go back to Floor and Decor and get a different type of spacer with the leveling cap. And you'll see the change coming up. And let me tell you what, the second one that I purchased from them, that spacer and leveling cap is just absolutely fantastic. What's nice is you can put it on temporarily and then spin it right back off. With this particular setup, once you put these white caps on, the leveling caps on, they're on. You can't take them off and adjust or tweak anything. But the ones that you'll see coming up, you can. Oh my goodness. Like I said, game changer big time. So with all of that in mind, just know when you make these cuts, you want to make a point of dry fitting it, unlike here where I didn't quite cut enough off of it. I had to take that mastic off, go back out and cut it, and then come back and put it back on. So here you'll see the first few of the new spacers and levelers. And like I said, those red levelers, they just spin on, and if you need to adjust anything, you can spin them off. So like here, that top tile, nothing's on the back of it. I'm just using that so I can get my distance for this tile that I cut around the shower valve. And then again, checking my level, and it's good to go. Now, when you use your rubber mallet to knock these spacers out, the direction of your grout line is the direction that you want to whack those spacers to get them to give you a better clean break or a more clean break. Not all of them will be clean. You'll have to go back behind and clean things up. But it's still, just remember to go with the seam when you're trying to knock them out of there. So now things are starting to really come together. And see how I'm just spinning them off, taking the little temporary tiles out of there so I can actually put the glued ones on. So it just makes it so convenient to take a break, you know, whether it be you ran out of mastic, you have to go mix more up. You can actually put that on there, have it self-level, holding it in place, and then when you come back, you can spin it off. The other thing is when you're working, try to work really clean. Keep your grout lines as clear of the squeeze out as possible. It just makes things so much easier when you go back the next day and when you're getting ready to grout. If you don't have a bunch of that mastic pushing out, you want to have a nice space for that grout to get in there just to get that really clean finish. Now I did slow the video down here towards the end just so you could get a better perspective of what it would take if you decide to do this on your shower area. This diamond hole saw, you just cock it a little bit at an angle, get it started so it doesn't skip along the tile, a water bottle, and it just makes the perfect hole. Just like butter, you would think I actually knew what I was doing. See that smile? I am happy with myself. Alrighty then, let's just finish this up, shall we? So the trowel that I'm using is actually 1/4 inch teeth. So they're not the big, super big, wide 1/2 inch. They're not the real small ones. Again, you want to make sure that whatever direction um, you're putting this mastic on, you want to kind of do the same thing to the back of your tile. I did see some people were actually back buttering their tile and they were just making it smooth. I opted to just go with the same line pattern as I put on the wall. And here you'll just see me cleaning where that grout line's going to be so I don't get a bunch of squeeze out with these tiles once I put the self-leveler on it. Alrighty then. I want to thank y'all for stopping by. Hopefully you made it this far, and some of how I did this tile will be able to help you do tile in your bathroom. Y'all have an absolutely wonderful and blessed week, and I will see you next week for grouting. Take care.